Sometimes trends happen on TikTok and I genuinely don't know if I should be proud of us or just disappointed. I think I'm proud in this case though. Hey, what's up? How are we today? It's Mebby, and if you don't already know, there's a war going on TikTok right now. Or at least it was going on. It's over now? I don't know. It's complicated. Basically, over the past week or so, there's been an emergence of gnomes on TikTok and knights who have come to fight them. I'm assuming the gnomes emerged from a person called Crawley, who we'll get into, but they're honestly an icon or a nuisance, either one. And because of Crawley the gnome's actions, there have been knights that have come to fight against him and his wrongdoings. And it was just a bit on this guy's page that did really well, and then it kind of just exploded into something bigger, aka a fully fledged war. Now, if you're at all like me, you were kind of taken aback by this war and honestly still don't know what's really happening. And so I decided to bestow the knowledge that I did have for you guys today. Now, I will say I am not an expert in this war at all, but I am an expert of TikTok to know a good trend when I see it, because this is just so funny. And the amount of commitment that these people have to their bits, honestly honorable. So in today's video, we are going to go explore gnome versus knight TikTok, Crawley TikTok, gnome talk, whatever you want to call it. We're going to explore it and just have a little laugh. And maybe we'll even learn about the history of the gnome versus knight war. Again, I don't know a lot. I'm really lost. But I think the best place to start is with Crawley the gnome's TikToks. So, who is Crawley? What is Crawley? And why are there knights fighting him? All around good questions, and a few days ago, I couldn't answer that. But now I think I can. Crawley is a TikTok creator. His @ is Crawley Possessed, and he goes around in a little green cape and a paper cap with a fishnet and a fake beard. And where does he go around? The most normal places to go around in that getup, obviously. Fast food chains and retail stores. Duh. He basically walks in there and tries to get around the counter to the back where people are actually working. And he kind of just like pushes through people, screams weirdly at people. He goes, ah. Ah, that's what he does. And eventually security or a knight will kick him out. And with that whole description, you might be thinking, Mebby, that does not answer any of my f***ing questions. And I can understand why. I think you just have to see it to believe it, really. This is the first of many Crawley videos that I saw and that a lot of people saw because it has 98.7 million views. Okay. And honestly, I saw this and I was like, oh, it's just a stupid little thing. Then people started sending it. Like, all of my friends were sending me this TikTok. I don't know if I reminded them of Crawley or what. I don't know why I kept getting sent this TikTok. This is Crawley the gnome, and this video right here is basically all of the videos of Crawley the gnome. Yeah, so as you can see, he sneaks around to the back, he walks through the crowds of people, he usually gets chased out by security, but I don't know if the security guard in that video was real or not, just because of the purple hair. You're allowed to have purple hair and work at an H&M. I just didn't know if you kind of looked like a cartoon character. So I don't know if that man was real or part of the bit or anything, but you're like, oh, he does that one time, gets 98.7 million views. How often can he do that? A lot, dude. He can do that a lot, and he does. Oh my god. I feel like my favorite thing about that one is how nonchalant the workers are about it. They're just like, yeah, we know the f***ing deal. Get the fuck out of our store, please. Like, those two teenagers working their minimum wage jobs in the back literally do not care. And I think that is my favorite part. They just like stare at him. And then the security guard, he just like walks him out. He's like, okay, you know the deal. How often are you going into this store? They are so used to this. The This is when this was a little bit more popular. So you can see someone sees him and she's like, phone out. You can't miss this opportunity. And the managers of the store also seem to be pretty prepared for him because immediately they were like, no. They would walk him out with their hand. They were like, let's go, buddy. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Crazy. A lot of people have seen this one too because it has 89.3 million views. Crawley's doing crazy numbers, okay? I would capitalize on this and just embarrass myself in public if it meant I got these numbers too. Well, actually, I don't think I would, but good for him for doing it. And yes, if you're wondering, he does use that song in every single one of his TikToks. My favorite thing about this McDonald's one is the fact that, again, the workers do not give a shit. They just stare at him. He walks out and then he goes underneath a random table of like, I think old women were sitting there. Yeah, of like old women. And they just kind of just look at him. But anyway, the staff in that McDonald's could not care less about the angry green gnome inside their establishment. And the thing is, I think Crawley has the mindset that he always has to keep moving because if he doesn't, you know, he might get arrested. So he kind of just goes in there and even if they don't care, he darts out. He's just constantly moving, which is a good mindset to have. Crawley's always on that grind. That gnome grind. That poor man did nothing. What did he do to deserve that, Crawley? Why did you have to scream angrily at him? He looked so confused too. Again, the worker's just like, no, we're not doing that. Get out. Come on, take your stuff and go. And the thing is, Crawley listens. He just leaves, but you just have to say, hey, no, we're not doing this today. I think he's like a preschooler. No, friend. We're not gonna break into random establishments right now. We're not gonna do that. No, because that hurts my feelings. No, friend, we can't do that. And honestly, if all you have to do is gentle parent this thing to get it to leave you alone, that seems worth it. Now, I know a lot of people are like, why are you like bothering retail workers? They have so much to do. Just like leave them alone. Why can't you just let people have their peace? Why are you just pushing people in public and stuff like that? I could agree with that. I could be like, yeah, you know, personal space, stuff like that. But honestly, and obviously I can't speak for everyone, but if I saw that in real life, either as a pedestrian or a retail worker, highlight of my day. If a little green gnome walked in, went at me, and then walked away, I literally probably would have thought I was tweaking for some reason, but it would be the highlight of my day. Honestly, the highlight of my year, maybe my life. I have a sad life. So yes, maybe he does bring a bit of disturbance to people's days, but also he's doing something much more important. Bringing back fun and whimsy. That's what we need. I said it once, I'll say it again. The fun and whimsy in 2024 has recently gone down a lot, and I'm not okay with that. And Crawley has started a dramatic increase in the fun and whimsy that 2024 is seeing, and you know what? I'm okay with those numbers. If that requires him getting kicked out of stores, okay. Also, complete side note, but here's Crawley barking at Speed.
What the is that? What the is that?
This goes on for 42 seconds. Hold on, wait, I have to watch the whole thing.
Yo, is that? The is that? What the is that? What? I'm a knight. I'm a what?
Whoa, okay. Maybe I take back the fun and whimsy because that was terrifying. I don't approve of that video. I don't back that video. That was intense. I think Crawley stood his ground pretty well considering he was going up against Speed and Speed was being very aggressive. But you might be thinking, okay, Mebby, there's this weird guy who walks around stores and gets kicked out. Where do knights come into this? Well, knights were originally the security people who do kick Crawley out, like in this video. obviously this knight did not give Crawley a chance. He literally walked in and he was like, no. Which, crazy that they have people on guard for Crawley right now. That's hilarious, but he didn't get into the store. And on the caption of this video, he said, "Happy house for poor knight," which again, I don't think English is Crawley's first language, but he always refers to these security people as knights. And after being brutally kicked out of this establishment, more so than the usual, which he is usually just occasionally, let's go, let's get out of here. No, he wasn't even given a chance in this one. So someone commented, "Bro needs to bring an army of gnomes to show his dominance." This started a revolution because Crawley replied with, "Will be. He does intend to do this." And so not a lot came of this at first, but then TikTok kind of got a hold of this trend. So the TikTok creator, What's in the Kool-Aid, created a really good lore summary of all of this that I probably couldn't even do. So if you want a more in-depth description of the whole of this lore, I would go to them. I'll try to link it in the description or something. But they basically said that the nerds found this trend. The nerds with a knight armor, nonetheless. So no longer were the knights just simple security guards standing outside your local McDonald's or H&M. No, the knights had armor now and were real people and nerds with a lot of time on their hands, which good for them. But it did not prove well for the gnomes because now they had an actual war on their hands. And Crawley the gnome started calling the knights like silly knights, stupid knights, stuff like that whenever they were featured in his video, which the knights in his video did not have armor. The knights in his video looked like this. So the knights are seen as like stupid big people that just smack things and chase people. So yeah, security guards. So these were the OG knights in the Knight Gnome War. But again, the nerds of TikTok took this much farther and started having high-level productions for these people. The knights were suiting up for battle. They were not playing games, and neither was anyone else.
Knight, he dropped his pink wand. I was able to find where King Crawley was hiding. I unleashed the knight army upon him and he ran, dropping his pink wand. I know it sounds strange, but this wand could be the key to our next victory. It's powerful and could help us in ways we yet can't imagine. We have to stay vigilant and ready for whatever comes next. Together, we will continue to protect our kingdom and defeat any evil gnomes that threatens our people. Stay strong, stay united, and let's keep fighting for our future.
So yeah, those are the knights of TikTok. There are many more, but because the knights started producing these like high quality TikToks being like, let's defeat the gnomes, basically all sides of medieval TikTok joined in. We had mermaids, we had giants, we had many different classes teaming up to choose sides on this war. So you had all of these people in really cool cosplays and Ren Fair outfits basically coming together and choosing sides for this war. And it was honestly really cool to see. The Ren Fair community is such a cool community that I've obviously like never been a part of, but like they just seem so cool and they're very into it. And it was just so cool to see all of their outfits and all of their lore and stuff like that and being like, we're taking this side, we're taking this side. But my favorite we're picking a side video has to be this one because it's just a dude. That's just a dude. But a very intimidating and cool throne, I will say. And I also don't approve that they're against the gnomes. I will say that. I think Crawley is very valid. He's just bringing fun and whimsy and joy. That's all he brings to the table, and that's all we really need in the world. And the fact that people can't recognize that says a lot about today's society. And so after this explosion on TikTok, the war was set for July 4th, otherwise known as Independence Day for America, the 4th of July. So all of those firecrackers you heard that night, no, They weren't for the 4th of July. Those were actually the sounds of the Gnome versus Night War, if you were wondering. Why we set it for that day? I don't know. Probably because the 4th of July is a pretty insignificant holiday for the rest of the world. I wonder if Jennifer Coolidge had an opinion on the war versus the Gnomes and the Knights. Oh, you look like the 4th of July. Makes me want to be on the Gnome side real bad. I don't know. She probably said something like that. I feel like she would be on the Gnome side. I feel like she's valid enough for that. But essentially, we had a lot of TikToks of the Gnomes approaching the war. They were going to war. They were going to fight. They were going to go fight for Crawley and the freedom that he provided. And again, really fun time on TikTok. Basically, every video you saw was a gnome or some other medieval class doing something to do with this war. And does anybody really know what happened during the 4th of July war? No, not really. But I did find some footage. Warning, it is a little disturbing. So proceed with caution. He turned him into a pumpkin! That was insane. Again, very intense, very scary. It was a long and hard battle. Side note, this is so impressive. Like, oh my god, people are so talented. Also, double side note, if you're wondering how is the gnome doing magic, because they often get confused with wizards, apparently the wizards are a neutral class that were lending magic to both sides. So they got the magic from the wizards, I believe. I'm not sure. And if you're wondering, in the midst of all this battle, of all this war and suffering, where is Crawley? That's a good question. We didn't know. This man started a fully fledged war, a whole thing on TikTok, and dipped. He kind of just kept going around retail stores and barking at people, which valid, okay, I wouldn't want to take part in a war either, but I mean, you started it, dude. You have to take some accountability. And if you're wondering how deep people got into this war, we're just gonna watch this video together and try to process it. Here is the 4th of July war update. I think this is the most credible source I could find. I really did not know what was happening after the war.
Is anyone left alive after the war yesterday? I've seen shockingly and alarmingly little, but we do know some things. Before we get into the official details and alliances, though, if you were at the war, please tell us your stories. We need to see if anyone is still alive out there. Even if you've heard through the grapevine of what's been happening, we need to hear it here. I've not seen knights declaring victory, but I have seen gnomes saying they won. In small numbers, though. So does that mean everyone else is exterminated? No, we need time to assess the damages. There is gnomes saying, come to me for safety. I've not seen knights declaring victory at this point. And then there's the important other developments, of course, the magical community. Okay, witches supposedly have declared for the gnomes. However, I've seen some saying they're just helping either side and peace. I think officially they're leaning more towards the gnomes. Someone in the magical community, whether it's warlocks, sorcerers, have been making portals for gnomes for safe havens. I haven't seen them doing that for attack, though. So at some point, the magical community seems to be leaning towards the gnomes, but some wizards have not officially declared. I think the assassination is still out there.
Right. So I don't know if you understood a lot of that. Essentially, no one knows who won. No one knows who is on whose side. And also, a wizard was assassinated. I forgot to talk about that. I'll just put it here. They had this high upscale production for this. This looked like it could be an actual television show. Like, it was amazingly done. However, he died. The leader of the wizards did die. So although I said they seem to be neutral and giving out magic to both sides, the leader of the wizards was also assassinated. So complete political disruption in the medieval side of TikTok. However, at the end of the day, after July 4th, the war was over, right? It was a one-day war, very quick. And I think it's been a unanimous decision amongst TikTok that there was a peace call. I'm not sure, but so far that's what it seems like, according to these TikToks. So yes, as you can see, both from the Knight side and the Gnome side of TikTok, they are making their way home and living in peace together, including this guy. Who hopped on a f***ing train. He seems to own the train somehow. I hope that's not a random person just on a train, because I think they go to liminal spaces, dude. I don't think you're getting out from there. But yes, the most important thing is that war is over and peace has been restored? Question mark. And this all started because Crawley the gnome went into an H&M and was not allowed in there again. And if you're wondering, well, what's Crawley doing all of this? You said he dipped. What is he doing? So that's his most recent TikTok. He's obviously doing what he does best. He's still popping out in the McDonald's and knights are still chasing him. He is the ruler though, so it does make sense. I think among the common people of the gnomes and knights, it's chill, but Crawley is still apparently causing mischief, so they feel like they have to put an end to that. I'm not part of that politics though, so I'm just gonna let that be where it is. I'm not gonna comment on that. However, Crawley, if you need a place to stay, if you need anyone to kill a knight for you, I got you, King. Okay, popping in here, there's a brief update that I feel is necessary to share for this video. So Crawley, my leading theory currently is that the content creator Crawley is completely unaware of what happened on July 4th, which, you know, that's okay. TikTok did its own thing. Crawley is currently still fighting the knights with a flock of, he's added friends. He has a flock of gnomes that now follow him into places and fight the knights. So it's still happening in Crawley's world. And I think the moral of the story is that it's Crawley's world and we're all just living in it. So therefore, I do think that the war is still happening. I just felt like that was an important update to share before I ended the video. And yeah, that is Gnome versus Knight TikTok, Crawley talk, again, whatever you want to call it. I haven't gotten vibes like this probably since 2022, 2021, maybe with like the Groundhog War. I don't know, it's just super cool whenever people come together and do stuff like this, because sometimes I hate TikTok and I hate Twitter and I hate all forms of social media except you, YouTube. Except you. Sometimes I hate you because I don't sleep because of you, but I love you. Anyway, I hate all forms of social media sometimes, but it's moments like that that make me remember, oh my god, I live with the funniest generation ever. And I'm so glad that we are creative and funny enough to do this and have the ability to share it. If you guys have any opinions on the Gnome Knight War or have anything to educate me personally on it, because again, I don't know that much about it clearly, leave it down in the comments below. And guess what? While you're down there, you can go hit the like button, and while you're down there, you can hit the subscribe button, and you know you want to. You know you want to. Okay, I hate that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are having a great day, and I love you. Bye. Crawley the Gnome, hit me up. Hit my line. I won't bark at you like Speed did. I would never bark at you. I would never do that. Unless you wanted me to. Do you want me to? By the way, if you want to laugh at anything, go look up Crawley the Gnome Thirst Traps. They're really funny, and they're really hot. So, I don't mean that. Or do I? Or do I? You'll never know. Okay, bye.